Thank you so much for coming in today. Hi, go ahead and grab a seat, of course. Yeah, do you want any refreshments? Any coffee, tea, water? Sure, we can definitely do that. I'll ask my assistant to get you a cup of coffee real quick if you don't mind. Hey, Leslie, do you think you can get just like you want like an Americano, hot or cold? Can you get a hot Americano for us? All right, thank you so much. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming to the Career Dream Workshop. Yeah, we just opened up, I would say about 6 months ago, and we have been booming with customers, and our clientele is growing rapidly. And I'm Miss Pearl, your career advisor. And just a little background about me, I've done career advisor and counselor for many years. I have helped people land their dream jobs, as well as making sure they find the perfect kind of career, right? Because it's not just about getting the job, it's also about getting the career and making sure that it fits your lifestyle, right? Exactly. So that's what we aim to do here at the DreamWorks Career Center. So, again, I just want to let you know that today our session will just be an introduction call. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions on specifically what kind of career you're looking for, what your interests are, what your day's schedule looks like. And then we'll kind of go on from there. I'll have a little bit of a follow-up report and receipt for you so that you can take that home with you. And we'll schedule a second consultation to make sure that we can provide you the right specific job areas, the interviews, as well as making sure that you get all the networking connections that you'll need. Sounds great? All right. Okay, I'm just gonna need some basic information here. You think you can tell me your first and last name just one more time? I'm just gonna verify from our appointment list. Okay. And your date of birth? Okay. All right. And let me see, you wanted to, and you did write a couple of things here, that you're looking for something within HR. You like helping people. HR or a school counselor, right? Or you're also possibly looking for maybe even helping people at schools. Okay, that looks good. All right, so I'm gonna get a list of couple questions that I'm gonna give you. And give me just a moment, and while I pull up that report. All right, so just a couple opening questions for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Just want to get some background. What made you come here? Okay, so you came here to... I'm just going to take some notes while you talk, if that's okay. All right. Okay, so you're a little bit burnt out from your last career, and right now you're looking for something that can help you kind of escape and also pick the right career for you this time. Okay, a lot of our clients do that actually, where they will have a 10 and 15-year career of whatever career they landed when they first got into that career, and after a while they realize this wasn't really fit for their lifestyle, which is perfectly fine. It happens, and this is why we have career sessions, to talk a little bit more about what really fits your needs. And a big thing is, in your ideal career, what does your day-to-day look like? And really being realistic about what that looks like. Do you imagine yourself working in an office? Do you imagine yourself working with people? Do you imagine yourself possibly doing more administrative stuff? So a lot of those things can really help us narrow down exactly what you're looking for. Okay. All right. So you're looking to have a mixture of both, a little bit of that in-person interaction, but you don't want to be in front of people all day. Okay. So you want something that's a little bit with office work and a combination of helping others. But within, let's say, an 8-hour day, is that what you're looking for? To be with people 8 hours a day? And when I say people, helping with people, continuously talking to them. Is that how that really fills up your bucket? Or is a way of you isolating others and kind of focusing on your own time a little bit better for you? So kind of more on the administrative side, I see. All right. And let's also think about the opposite. What do you not want in your career? We want to think about specifically when I go into that job every single day, what's something I don't want to be seeing? What do I not want to be facing? Of course, with any career, there is going to be ups and downs. There's going to be moments of stress. But we want to make sure that we narrow down on specifically what you don't want to see in that career. And sometimes it's best to think about why that made you choose to leave your previous career, right? We want to think a little bit about making sure I don't repeat that mistake. So I'm just going to write a couple things and you just kind of drive on. Okay. All right. So you mentioned the kind of administrative side, right? So specifically, what really appeals to you on the administrative side? What are your strengths? I think that's a big thing. A lot of administrative stuff involves with using the computer. Are you familiar with using the computer? And if you aren't, what else can you do on your skill set level? Are you good at scheduling things? Are you good with coordination and onboarding and also making sure that there's documentation? I think those are all big things to focus on, especially on the administrative side of the work. Okay. Okay. And in terms of personality in your work style, are you a little bit more organized, more creative, analytical, empathetic? That really helps us kind of narrow down exactly who you are as a person, and also talks about, how do you handle moments of stress? How do you kind of outreach with others as well? So you are a little bit more on the organized, analytical side. You're not all that empathetic, which is perfectly fine. However, you do like to make sure that you have conflict resolution. Okay. And this is a very big thing, and this also helped me determine what kind of career I wanted. Do you want something a little bit more of a predictable routine, or do you like different things happening each day? When I think of a teacher, for example, a lot of things, although there's a routine, there's a lot of different injects that can happen with that throughout the day, right? We could think about certain activities that may go wrong. You have to really be able to be flexible so that the job can continue, right? You can have a little sanity. Some people enjoy that. So for you, what do you kind of like? Do you like, just making sure you have a little bit more structure throughout the day, set planned in meetings? Okay, that's what I assumed. Yeah. And another big question I want to ask you before we end our session is some practical career questions, and I know any recruiter is going to ask you, is how important is salary to you? What's your target range? And are you willing to go back for certifications, for additional educations? And also, are there any opportunities that you see to advance in that specific career? So let's answer the first question. What's kind of the base salary that you're looking for? Okay. And is there a maximum range? I mean, yes, of course, everyone loves making more money, right? Okay, so that's the minimum. And you said that you are willing to go back to school, right? Okay. And we also do offer a program assistance where we help you connect to certain schools to kind of go back for certain degrees and making sure you get connected to the right provider. So we have those services here as well. And a big thing to really consider is as you are switching your career, a lot of times you may start off with an entry-level position. And that's quite normal because you are shifting, but a lot of times you may go into an entry to mid-level. Is that something that will work with you? Right, even though we have our target salary, I think it's definitely something that we want to consider, especially if you are switching careers. Okay. And in terms of, we talked about schedule. Okay, let's actually talk specifics on schedule. In terms of schedule, are you looking for a 9 to 5, or you work 5 days, 9 hours? Or are we looking to kind of be a little bit more flexible, more part-time work? A little bit more of a part-time work, okay. I think that really helps us kind of narrow down specifically what we can do. I know especially for a lot of administrative jobs, there are a lot of 9 to 5s, but again, there are other opportunities that don't specifically restrain you from just a typical corporate 9 to 5 job. There are administrative, areas that you can get from a local office, or you could also get it at specific retail stores that are administrative. And those usually typically offer a little bit more flexible scheduling than the typical 9 to 5. Yeah. And last but not least, I want to help you imagine, if money and education weren't barriers, what would you choose? I think that's a big thing to really consider, because a lot of times the limiting factor of what we want to do is the money, the education, the time it takes to interview. If that wasn't an option, what would be your dream career? And for me, I like to think about in the past of what I wish I would have done that I couldn't do now, right? This is the perfect opportunity to do that. So if there is something that you'd love to share with me, I'll go ahead and write it down so we can kind of help you narrow down and match to what you're looking for. Yeah, definitely. We can explore a little bit more of that. And in 5 years, is that what you kind of imagine yourself to look at? Right? That's good. Just going to note that here as well. Okay. And last thing is, as you are going through this, and I'll give you a final report of this, what's one thing that you learned about yourself this past year or during our session? Because sometimes when we talk about this, we become more reflective. You start to piece the puzzles together to think about, I think you're right. I don't think I really like that, but I also know I'm really good at this. So is there anything that you want to share with me? Okay, that's wonderful. Well, I loved how we were able to really dive deeper into narrowing down you like administrative tasks. You're looking for something part-time. You're organized, you're analytical. You've also talked a little bit more about going back to school and pursuing certifications as well. So that's still on the radar. What I'm going to do is we are going to go ahead and schedule your next session. And I'm going to be giving you a 2-week period to really think about all the resources I gave you, what you could come up, right? Because we don't want to rush into looking for the next career. But we do want to have a follow-up session to really think about, has anything changed in the past 2 weeks? And if so, let's talk about it. So look on the calendar here. Let's see. This next Tuesday on September 13 or 15 work for you? September 15? Okay. I'm gonna put your name down here, and I have a 2, 3, and 4 o'clock. 2 o'clock, okay. Perfect. All right, and we'll meet right back here. I do typically give my clients an option to have a virtual meeting as well. So if you would like a virtual meeting and you're in the middle of work, I could definitely offer that service as well. Okay, well, let me know. I will schedule something in the next few hours, and you'll be seeing that calendar invite. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about all the resources I gave you. We'll talk about some questions to follow up, and we'll continue that journey. And I'm gonna get you linked up to some resources to make sure that you have everything you need to jumpstart your new career. Sound okay? All right. Well, thanks so much for coming here. Perfect timing. We got your coffee right here for you. Enjoy your coffee. And yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have Starbucks right downstairs, which is really nice, right? Well, enjoy your coffee, and I will see you in the next session. Bye-bye.